Come on, everybody. Let's give a big welcome to Brother Bill.
Thank you, Tommy. Mixed emotions being here today. So sorry that my good friend Mike had been found out, after all these years. But in fact, the same thing happened to me just 29 years ago after 22 years of loyal service when El Dramundo sacked me. So I know how hard it is. But Mike, fleecers are going to be fleecers, and fleecing is fleecing. So that's the way it goes. These gigs that we have had don't really last, or that often last this long. So, this isn't a time to be remorseful at all, because praise the Lord, it's amazing that for 39 years you have drained just about every expense account and every coffer that the Epsilon Corporation had. And I'm proud to call you, for that great record, a fleecing colleague. Let me get a little more martini down here. Brother Bill did some fleecing, but I had a big flock. And I tell you what, I'm so proud that you've been able to do what you did with just one client. So I say to you, Mike, praise the Lord, and great fleecing.
Brother Bill, tell us about some of Mike's career highlights.
39 years. At my age, that's a lot to remember, and I'm not sure I'm going to get exactly straight, but I know something about Syracuse University. I think it was 1984. Mikey, he joined Epsilon and almost immediately got into Epsilon softball. And for the next 18 years, about all he did was play softball, fast pitch, slow pitch, T-ball. He even became the coach of the ladies softball team. Well, so I did a little math here, and he got paid for some 2,000 games, and he expensed beer before, during, and after one of those games, every one of the 2,000. That's an 18-year record, and I call that excellent fleecing, Mike. That's a good start on any career. But I hate to say it, Mike, but there was a time when the number of hits slowed down, and your weight got bigger and bigger. So the softball gig was over, but you thought up a new plan, the Epsilon Golf Association, and you installed yourself as the managing director. Or was it commissioner? Yeah, commissioner, leaving the softball team in its desperate state. Over the next, I think it was 10 years, you hosted over 100 18-hole events, of course, expensing lunch and beers on all the events and on all the courses. The added benefit here was not only the fleecing, but you had the walking exercise. And guess what? Your weight grew more slowly. Sounded like a good gig, 11 years worth of that, until the great disaster at Far Corners, better known more specifically as hey, I got a tear in my eye because it was so close to my home. I was banned from the club after this. But anyway, the great disaster was the great Far Corners beer brawl abruptly ended your career, your job as commissioner, and the Epsilon Golf Association. But not surprisingly, you acted decisively and quickly, parlaying your food, drinking, travel, and social experiences over all those, now what, 29 years of your career into the best fleecing job of your lifetime, your work time. You became vice president of Epsilon Partnerships and Alliances. When you finally made it to the top, and you did not let us down or yourself down, because in just 10 years, you ran or attended, by accurate count, more than 500 trade shows, retreats, vendor shows, client forums, conferences, and symposiums. That's 550 a year. And our accountants tell us that you expense nearly 5,000 gourmet meals and probably more than 20,000 cocktails. Now that's fleecing and using what you've learned in the past to maximum degree. Fleecing simply doesn't get any better than that, Mikey. So I say to you again, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. And let's, of course, especially praise expense accounts. So that's it. You got 18 years, 11 years, and 10 years, 39 years in all. And you never worked a lick. You never had a meal at home. You drank on the company. I congratulate you. That's fleecing. That's fleecing. I'm proud to call you a friend.
Brother Bill, what advice do you have for Mike and Alex's retirement years?
Tom, thank you for that question. And it's going to be tricky. It's going to be very tricky. It was for me some 29 years ago. And I know that he's probably having some sleepless nights. And frankly, and I'm sure he's worried, and Alex is worried. And, everybody's looking for a new scam. And with his resume, frankly, he probably should be worried, I'd have to agree. But I don't know, scams come and go, and I think there'll always be new scams. And I know he's got a big bank account. I wouldn't rush out and get in anything new immediately on my own. You've got that fleecing money in the account, and I think you and Alex are going to be fine, but it's a good time to make some investments and let that part, better investments, and let that part carry the load rather than a new position. So I think the right move for the Coakleys would be to invest somewhere 20 to 25% of that fleecing fortune in some Brother Bill crypto. This is a replica, of course, of a real Brother Bill crypto coin. It's called the BB coin, if you're familiar with all that. So, check it out. I hope you will. And remember the BB brand. And it's an easy thing to do. You can just call the 800 number, 100 Bro Bill. See, I'm keeping with the times, keeping up. I guess the other kind of a little tip I might say that, that up at the pearly gates, Mike, and to the rest of the crowd, they're no longer taking cash. That's why I suggest you be like Brother Bill, go with the digital currency. And they ain't taking cash. There's a much better chance you're going to get past the pearly gates with a Brother Bill crypto. So that's my best tip for all of you, and best wishes. Happy fleecing, and I'll see you next time.